You may be seated. Okay, Mr. Hall brought you to court, Ms. Doug, and you were served to be here. It looks like he was wanting a reduction in his child support. He actually wrote he had receipts in the petition. So, do you know anything about that?
Well, apparently he's Casper.
Okay.
Because he ain't showed up. So, I mean, he's clearly wasting my time. He was clubbing last night, so maybe he just couldn't get up.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because he did say something, he was a promoter, a rapper or something, right?
He a rapper.
Okay.
Welcome to Judge Bench, where courtroom drama meets real life. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for the most compelling legal showdowns. Today, we dive into the case of Hall versus Hall, where Mr. Hall petitioned the court for a reduction in child support. But there's a twist. Mr. Hall never even showed up. Despite being served and initiating the case, he chose to skip court. The judge noted this was a clear waste of time, especially after learning he was seen partying the night before. Is he serious about his responsibilities or just playing the system?
So, he said he wants a reduction in child support. You know anything about that?
Yeah, but I don't think he deserves to get a reduction, Your Honor.
So tell me about that.
Okay, so last time you told him that he needed to put the kids on medical insurance.
Right.
He has failed to do so. The kids are still on my medical. Not only that, he's not picking them up for the visitation. I'm still paying people to help me as far as like sitters and take the kids to and from school.
Okay.
I have some proof right here of the things that Mr. Hall has been doing that shows that he has the money, but he's just not making the time.
The mother appeared as ordered, despite needing to pay a sitter to be in court. Her frustration was obvious. While Mr. Hall demanded a support reduction, she argued that he hadn't earned it. Judge Vonda had previously instructed him to provide medical insurance for the children, yet the mother was still the one covering all costs. On top of that, he wasn't exercising his visitation rights. She provided proof of the expenses. She continues to bear alone while Mr. Hall makes no meaningful effort to contribute or be present in their children's lives.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And so I made you your own copies, and I have some to go along with you.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes. So in Exhibit A, Your Honor, you see Mr. Hall, and he's gone to the dentist and had diamonds placed in his teeth.
Interesting.
So, I mean, he has the money. Like, again, he picks and chooses what he wants to do with his money.
Okay.
And then, so if you go to Exhibit B, Mr. Hall just paid for a video shoot. So, again, he's showing that diamond-encrusted tooth.
Prepared and determined, the mother brought evidence that questioned Mr. Hall's claims of financial hardship. Exhibit A revealed that he spent money on diamond inlaid, dental work, an extravagant choice for someone claiming to need support reduced. Judge Vonda raised an eyebrow, noting that this kind of spending suggests someone who picks pleasure over parental duty. With this kind of discretionary spending, the court began to see through Mr. Hall's excuses. What was shaping up wasn't a man in financial distress, but someone with misplaced priorities.
All right. Have you seen him since he had these diamonds on his teeth?
No, ma'am, I hadn't seen him since the last court.
Okay. Do you know, and maybe it's in your evidence, I'm just jumping ahead, do you know if he ever mentioned how much these crushed diamonds cost?
No, but I'm pretty sure he paid a good penny for them. I'm sure he didn't put rhinestones in his mouth, so.
It could be that, what they call it, that cubic stuff?
CZ?
Yeah, I think that's
I'm not sure.
Okay.
And then on Exhibit C, you see he's laying in a bed of clouds or cotton or something like that, but.
Yeah, it looked real interesting.
Yeah.
Judge Vonda inquired further. While the cost of the diamonds wasn't specified, the mother made a fair point. They weren't cubic zirconia. These weren't cheap decorations. They were a luxury. Exhibit B added fuel to the fire. Mr. Hall had just paid for a professional music video shoot. And then came Exhibit C, a dramatic photo of him laying in what appeared to be clouds or cotton. The message was clear. Mr. Hall had funds, but instead of prioritizing his children, he was chasing image, appearances, and status. His actions weren't matching the story he filed.
Mr. Hall is just not being an active participant or parent, and I'm doing all the parenting and stuff by myself. Again, he didn't even bother to show up to court, but he had me served. So, yeah, so in this picture, Mr. Hall has on some new retro Jordans, but has yet to pay retroactive child support. So, yeah, those shoes can go anywhere from $200, depending on where he purchased them. I'm sure he could have used that money towards the health insurance.
Well, if those shoes are that expensive, then yeah. So, I mean, thank you for bringing it. I don't really know what to do with it because he didn't show up.
The exhibits kept coming. Exhibit D showed Mr. Hall in a fresh pair of retro Jordans, some retailing for $200 or more. Meanwhile, retroactive child support remained unpaid. The judge acknowledged the financial disconnect. How could someone afford high-end sneakers, but neglect their child's health insurance? While the shoes weren't illegal, they told a deeper story. The court wasn't here to judge lifestyle, but when that lifestyle gets prioritized over child support, it becomes relevant. The judge had seen enough, but with Mr. Hall absent, her hands were tied.
Did he contact you at all about coming to court?
No, but I just went on his Instagram and he had like a show last night, so apparently, like I said, it must be more important than being here. He may be just laid up somewhere, so I don't know.
Does he get paid for appearances when he have these shows?
He does.
Okay.
And
so it's not volunteer work or nothing?
It can range anywhere from like $3,000 to $10,000, depending on what venue is called him. So I'm not sure why he isn't here, Your Honor. I just brought my evidence to do my due diligence because I was ordered to come to court. So I don't know what.
Had Mr. Hall made any effort to communicate? No. Instead, the mother had to go digging through his Instagram. What she found spoke volumes, photos, of him performing at a club the night before court. He clearly had other priorities. According to her, these performances could net him $3,000 to $10,000 per show. So not only was he was earning big. This wasn't someone scraping by. Yet here she stood, doing everything alone, following the law, showing up while he was somewhere, likely asleep after another night out.
To say about Mr. Hall, but I mean, the child support can just stay the same and him just reimburse me for the medical because he's not going to do it.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate you showing up, that you got served. You may not know this, or maybe you do know it, depending on how often you have to come to the courthouse and do your own paperwork and such, but everybody doesn't show up when they're served to come to court. So that I can appreciate, and I also can appreciate you bringing actual evidence because people don't do that either.
Right.
However, I don't know.
It's really nothing.
There's really nothing that can be done because he's the petitioner.
The mother wasn't asking for a miracle, just fairness. She told the judge the current child support could stay the same, but she should at least be reimbursed for medical expenses. Mr. Hall was supposed to cover. The judge appreciated her preparedness and effort. Many people, she said, don't even show up when served, let alone bring documented evidence. But the law had limits. Because Mr. Hall had filed the petition and failed to appear, there wasn't much the judge could do. Still, the mother had fulfilled her duty, and that mattered.
He's the one who brought this lawsuit before the court, so he would be the one having to come in and state his claims for relief. This would be like your rebuttal evidence, essentially. Right. So, I mean, there's nothing for me to do but to dismiss this case. Now, I just want you to understand, he can refile it.
Okay, that's fine.
So, I would hope he wouldn't do this again, but I just want you to know that he could do this again.
I mean, and if he does, I'm sure he'll give me more evidence. So, you know,
okay,
I'm okay with that. I mean, I showed up to court because it's the law, so that's why I showed up. So.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Well, did you have any questions for me while you're here?
The case was dismissed. Since Mr. Hall was the petitioner, the burden of proof fell on him. His failure to appear meant the case couldn't proceed. The judge made it clear he could refile in the future. But if he did, and the mother had to return, she'd be ready. with more evidence if necessary. Her calm resolve showed she wasn't intimidated by the system. She respected the law, respected the court, and most importantly, respected her role as a parent. She showed up because she was supposed to. That alone spoke volumes.
No, Your Honor. I mean, I feel like everything was answered last time. I know, well, yeah. Can I get an increase if he does bring me back to court and I show proof that he's making more money?
Well, and see, that's the thing. Even if you do show proof, you have to file your own petition with the court, asking the court to increase his child support.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing further, you're dismissed.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Before leaving, the mother asked one last question. If Mr. Hall brings her back to court, could she file for an increase based on his growing income? Judge Vonda clarified that she could, but she would need to file her own petition. The mother understood. She wasn't trying to start a war, just protect her children and stand up for what's right. As the hearing ended, Judge Vonda dismissed her with respect. This wasn't just a courtroom hearing. It was a clear display of responsibility versus recklessness. Thanks for watching Judge Bench. Be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more real cases.